All right, so we have a question today. So, if you have any advice for people that are starting a new business venture and how they can handle the lack of support from family and friends.
Yeah, man. This is a question that I get, almost daily. Especially in a home-based business or network marketing. Oftentimes that's the scenario. That's a situation. When people go to college, there's no threat to anybody. Going to college and getting good grades because there's no threat that anybody's going to surpass, a family member or anything like that. Or the same goes with getting a second job. Nobody's going to give any criticism towards going for a second job or school or anything like that. But as soon as somebody finds out you start a business, there's a certain fear that sets in oftentimes with family. Number one, and close friends, because a lot of times people are concerned that you start at the same place, whether you go to the same school, you are raised in the same home, but the fear is that you don't end at the same place. And that's the fear oftentimes people have, especially family, especially friends. Everybody's in support of what you're doing as long as it's similar to what they're doing. And so I think you're gonna face that, no matter where you go. In fact, in my situation, I didn't have a whole lot of support with family up front. Almost none of my friends that I went to school with supported what I did because it was totally different. Those guys are living for Friday. They're living for Friday night. I started on Friday night. We start building our business on Friday night. So a totally different philosophy, totally different mindset. And the key of it is people have to understand you don't want everybody to agree with what you're doing. You don't want everybody to be in support of you. If everybody supported you in business, then everybody would have success. So it also helps us strive to become better people. A lot of times negative family or negative friends, it's not their fault sometimes. Sometimes, again, they're going off of our track record. Sometimes they're going off of things that we've quit in the past. So I would definitely say, just keep going, keep going. Your friends and family aren't going to make you successful anyway. Them supporting you in business, whether they're a customer or whether they even join your team, oftentimes they're not going to bring success to your business anyway. So I would say, spend very little time worrying about those things. Spend time improving yourself. Do specific things. We just had a situation just probably about a week ago. Had a young man come to a convention and nobody would support him and his family. They told him he was going to fail. They said he was a loser. Well, this guy was also a stage 4 brain cancer survivor. And so when we were at the convention, he actually spent a few minutes with a couple that was in a Ronald McDonald home, and they were suffering from something very similar that he survived from. So he was able to pour into these people. He was able to give these people his wisdom and just a fight to know, hey, there's a chance that you can be successful in this, that you can fight this, you can beat this. I'm living proof. So his testimony changed somebody's life, and it burned up a fire inside of me. Because I realized here his family is, not willing to support him in business, not understanding or agreeing with his thought process or his decisions. And it showed me the difference of caliber of human being that he is versus even the people that raised him. If you really think about what just happened there. And so he had said to me, he had said to a group of people, that the Lord had told him to give every dime that he had, pull every bit of money out of his pocket. So he did that. And I think he had $20 to his name. And he gave $20 to these people. And so I want you to think about how brave of an individual that this guy was. And so I told him, I said, listen, I want to have just a 5-minute conversation with your family. I want your family to know the caliber of human being you are, the level of faith and the level of bravery that you have over everybody else. So, it fired me up. It made me realize, man, that the people that don't support you, oftentimes, they don't deserve to be there anyway. They don't deserve to be there with you a lot of times just simply because they're different calibers. They're different calibers of people. I don't know many people that would empty out their pocket to give it to somebody that don't even know that he felt was in more need than what he was. That's bravery, and people like that are going to have success in business. You got to be brave. You got to be tough. You got to be strong. You can't be at a certain place in life where little things like family not being your customer is going to knock you out of the game. One thing that I've learned is when your focus is right, your vision is right, your power is right, it never fades. I had a talk with somebody last night, and they asked me a question. They said, Jeff, I feel like I've ran out of my market. I feel like people at work are tapped out. I feel like people that I know are tapped out. They're not tapped out. Your vision's tapped out. That's the issue. That's the concern is your vision is tapped out. You have to renew your vision. Go back to when you first joined. If you didn't have belief or faith when you signed up, you wouldn't have signed up. So whatever belief you had, whatever belief system, whatever feeling you had at that time that you signed the paper to get started with your company, go back to that feeling. You have to have that constant faith. So you don't run out of people. Your market doesn't get tapped out. Your faith gets tapped out. So as soon as you can restore and renew your vision to when you first join, your vision should be getting bigger as you go, not smaller. So when family doesn't support, just know your reward for sticking with it is going to be even greater. It's amazing. The people that do not support you in the beginning will always be there for you at the end, cheering you on, saying, I knew you could do it. So it's very common, man. It's very popular. It's going to happen to probably 90% of getting started with network marketing.
That's great. So if we can take it one step further, real quick. How could you use that lack of support to your advantage? Is there a way that you can use that as fuel?
Oh, absolutely, man. I mean, if you're weak, it's going to throw you out of the game. But then again, anything's going to throw you out of the game. Weak people don't belong at the top. They always say that the high road, take the high road. There's no traffic on the high road. So as you continue to elevate, as you continue to grow as a human being, your bank account grows. Everything grows, in conjunction. A lot of times with your spiritual growth. And so as you continue to grow, man, those things are, for sure, they should fire you up. They should motivate you. Tough people get motivated when people say they can't do things. Winners and champions, they work harder when somebody says they can't do it. I'm going to give you a quick example. I was talking to an individual the other day that was literally, this person was in a bad place, man. They were in a bad place in life, and they have resorted. They lost their job. They had resorted to selling drugs and doing some crazy stuff. And they talked about, like, I just want to end things. And this individual mentioned their son wanted to go to the NBA, and the son said, "Listen, when I get to the NBA, you're not going to cry anymore." And I thought to myself, I stopped her as she was talking, as she was communicating. I stopped her right there. I said, "Hold on. What you think is the lowest place in your life? Do you realize this place right now, this location that you're at this point in time in your life? Do you realize it's forming a champion in your son? Do you realize that the adversity is forming a champion?" And I said, "You know what? Your son probably will go to the NBA. Probably will go to the NBA. Why is that? Because his why is big enough. His reason is big enough." So, it's amazing. Certain environments destroy certain people, but then the same exact environment creates champions in people as well. The pressure-making diamond type situation. So, yeah, man, I think you should use it to motivate you. When people don't support you, use it to motivate you. See, if God gives you a vision, it doesn't mean he gave them the vision. So you don't expect other people to see what you see if he spoke it to you and not to them.
Awesome. Thank you.